This is not just the story of a king who fell. It is the story of a nation that lost its voice.
The Lord gives, and the Lord takes away. Blessed be the name of the Lord.
For years, there was a man who stood between heaven and earth. A man who heard God and made him known. But then he died, and all Israel gathered to mourn him. Because when Samuel spoke, God answered. But now, who would speak for them? They buried him in his own town, but they could not bury what he meant. He was more than a prophet. He was guidance, correction, direction.
Hear the decree of the king. No medium shall remain. No spiritist shall breathe within Israel. Every whisperer of the dead, cut off. Drive them out or destroy them. There will be no voice in this land but the voice of God.
Take them to the dungeon. I will not tolerate witchcraft in this kingdom. No, mercy. We are innocent.
Search the entire territory, from Dan even unto Beersheba.
Faster, man. They must ride by dawn. Finish it
now. In one
now.
final desperate measure to right his wrongs, the king hurriedly signed a decree to root out mediums, sorcerers, witches, throughout the entire kingdom. He sought to lead the people back to God, but himself was far from God. He removed darkness from the land, but he could not remove the one within.
Mobilize! To your horses! We ride out now! Hurry!
The decree had been spoken. Shadows could no longer conceal them. Altars were torn down. Sacred grounds defiled and shattered. Charms ripped from trembling hands. Ancient scrolls devoured by fire. Everything they trusted
Come here,
in,
you witch!
everything they drew power from, turned to smoke and ash. And those who escaped did not look back. They fled into the wilderness, into the unknown, carrying fear where power once lived. But the king found no rest. Sleep fled from him, and the night refused to be silent. Eyes open, mind burning, for peace had abandoned him. When God is silent, even kings cannot sleep. And still, the drums of the Philistines grew louder, closer, heavier, like the sound of judgment marching toward him. So the king turned inward, to the place he had long ignored. He set the crown aside and clothed himself in desperation. No food sustained him, no drink gave comfort, for when a man cannot reach God, he begins to afflict his own soul. Through the long night, he remained, restless, waiting, listening. He called out, but the heavens stayed closed. No vision came, no prophet spoke, no whisper broke the silence. Nothing, only silence, unbroken, unmoved. The voice that once led him now answered him no more, and the king sat alone, with the echo of his own cry. Then something inside him began to give way, not all at once, but slowly, like a wall, collapsing from within. There is always a moment when you must choose. to wait on God, or to look for answers elsewhere? Be honest. What would you do? Comment wait or go. And if you have followed this story to this point, please hit the subscribe button. It will help us to bring you more stories like this. And so, the king disappeared into the night.
Hear me
Away
now.
from crown, away from throne, only the darkness within, and a decision he could never undo. With 2 men beside him, Saul walked where light could not follow. Endor, a place forbidden, a place he once cleansed, now the only place left. When men refuse to wait for God, they create their own answers. Disguised, unrecognized, a ruler hiding from his own decree. A king knocked on a door he once ordered destroyed. She opened the door and stared into the dark, a woman who dealt in whispers. She said, "You know what Saul has done. He cut off the mediums. Why trap me?" She feared the king, not knowing she was speaking to him. And Saul swore, "As the Lord lives, no harm will come to you." He used God's name to justify disobedience. He swore by the same God that has rejected him. She asked, "Who shall I bring up?" And Saul whispered, "Samuel." She began, and then she screamed, because this was not something she had under her control. "You are Saul." The disguise meant nothing now. And then Samuel rose. Not memory, not illusion. "Why have you
I see the
disturbed me?"
spirit of a man coming up.
I am in distress. God has departed from me. He does not answer me anymore.
The Lord has turned from you and become your enemy because you did not obey. The kingdom is taken from you. Tomorrow, you and your sons will be with me. And the words fell like a hammer. Judgment, final, unchanging. Then the king fell at Endor before the day of battle, broken by truth. His strength left him. His body trembled, for he had not eaten. And now he had nothing left to stand on, nothing left to live for. The mighty king of Israel lay stretched upon the earth, empty, defeated, afraid. And the woman drew near. The one he once would have destroyed, now, the only voice left beside him. "See, your servant has obeyed you," she said softly. "I have risked my life for your word." She looked at the fallen king, not with fear now, but with urgency. "Please, listen to me," she pleaded. "Let me give you food, so you may have strength." But he refused. No hunger, no will. Only the weight of what was coming. Yet she did not leave him there, she urged him, again and again. Until at last, the king listened. And so, in the house of a forbidden witch, on the night before his death, the king of Israel was fed by the hand he once condemned. Not in victory, but in preparation for the end. And when he had eaten, strength returned to his body, but not to his soul. The night was still, the air heavy with what had been spoken. So the king rose, not with courage, not with hope, but with the weight of tomorrow already upon him. He stepped out from the house of shadows, back into the darkness from which he came. No voice followed him, no light guided him, only the echo of a prophet's final words. "Tomorrow, you will fall." And so he walked toward the battlefield, toward his sons, toward his end. The crown still on his head, but already slipping from his destiny. Because some battles are lost long before they are fought. And this was the night a king lost his crown, his honor, before he lost his life. Morning came, but not with mercy. The Philistines advanced. like a flood, unstoppable, closing in. Israel trembled, then broke. Men fled, lines shattered, the mountain filled with fear. And the king stood his ground. Arrows flew, swift, unrelenting. Then one struck, deep, precise, fatal. Saul staggered, pain tearing through him. He turned to his armor-bearer. "Draw your sword. End it before they come." But the young man froze, terrified, unwilling. So the king took the sword himself. The same hands that once held the crown now held the end. And Saul fell upon his blade. When his armor-bearer saw it, he followed. And there, on the mountain of Gilboa, a king died, a dynasty collapsed, a prophecy fulfilled, not defeated by the enemy alone, but by pride, arrogance, disobedience, and impatience. If you have been impacted by this story, please subscribe to this channel. It will really help us.